I go hard in the paint, yeah, homie, I'm a saint. Ride or die.
I'm just going to set this video up because it did get heated, it did get contentious, and I want to put some disclaimers out there and give you a little bit of a build up for what you're about to see. So this is an interaction that I had with Skyler Fiction, along with some others on the stage, Matt Adams, Jake the Muslim metaphysician, and we kind of went after like inconsistencies and incoherencies within his view. Now I think normally online he focuses on Christianity and like biblical slavery and criticizing those particular views, but in this case he made a bold claim that he has this revelation from his God that tells him certain moral actions are inappropriate. So setting aside that I disagree with him and I don't believe that the Bible allows the immoral actions that he was bringing up, we got to then criticize and critique, like, what does he mean by revelation? What does he mean by he's God? What does he mean by your God? What does he mean to even criticize somebody at all? But then it starts building into some other things where his God is committing immoral actions but doesn't know any better because his God chose to forget his moral standard, and that leads to another problem. But anyway, that's enough setup for the video. I'm going to let you now watch it. Give me your thoughts in the comments and below. Also, don't forget to click the like, subscribe button. That helps me out as well. I appreciate it.
Or Mo, I'm trying to figure out what Skyler Fiction's position is here. If he's a pantheist, because some pantheists believe that everything is a part of the God, and God, the universe is God, and all this. So that would just imply the act of humans committing slavery would also be a part of God. But he says he's not that type of pantheist.
I think that's a panentheist, Matt.
No, it's a pantheist.
Yeah, actions really wouldn't, somebody's actions wouldn't be part of God. That wouldn't be God in a sense. It's an action. But like I said, my God beliefs, we don't believe in, my particular God beliefs, I believe in a creator who doesn't drown children, force women to be slaves, uh, doesn't do things like put curses on people where they'll eat their children through cannibalism and things like that. Like, it's just a whole different type of God concept than the
But all
Christians
that
believe in.
happens.
I am
So
curious
how do
though,
you explain it?
Skylar. I am curious though for you and Matt to have like a conversation about like how you're able to like attain knowledge about your God to make those conclusions.
Through revelation.
But what do
It's
you mean by
revealed.
revelation?
It's been revealed to me in a way that I can know it for certain.
What do you mean by revelation and being revealed to you?
It is become understood to me.
That's just asserting revelation again in like a
Are
different
you
way.
like, I'm not going to be able to prove revelation if that's what you're looking for.
No, we're not asking for proof, but like, do
So it
you
would
mean
be
just
some
like
form
you?
of a way of communication, but not like a verbal talking to. And actually this might be something that's more similar to how Christians argue how they have revelation from God. But I
We
don't
don't want
use
to
a
talk
thing
about.
like the Bible, actually.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Christianity. We just want to kind of
No,
focus in
but it's
on your
important
view.
that if it's easier for you to understand it, you're a Christian, right?
Yes, but I don't
Yeah.
want to
So
talk
the
about
reason
like
I
I
would
think
hold on.
that, but I
The
think that
reason
if
I
you
would
have
bring
a
up
view,
is it's easier if
Skylar,
you're a Christian and I can bring up something that you believe. Like, it makes it easier, I would imagine, for you to relate to and understand.
no, I think Skylar, if you have a view that you have a different version of God who gives you no written texts, that you say has given you a revelation, I think you'd be able to at least explain what that revelation is. Like there'd be at least something that you could say and point to.
Oh, so you're looking for a specific revelation, is what you're looking for?
Well, you said it was you have a revelation that your God would not drown
Well,
babies. You have the revelation
well,
your
no.
God would not condone slavery. And those were
Yeah,
very
no. I'm
specific
not saying that he
statements.
gave me the revelation that he wouldn't drown children. I just have that natural connectedness with him to know that that would go against his nature to hurt himself.
To hurt himself, you said?
Are you familiar with pantheism?
Well, that's what I'm just trying to clarify. Are you
No, I
saying
know, but you are familiar with pantheism, right?
Yes,
So,
and
like,
there's
it shouldn't be
there's
that confusing when someone says hurt yourself. That would be referring to pantheism.
yeah, but I've heard pantheists all over the spectrum. So would you say that like you're an extension of God then?
All physical matters, God.
So all
Physical
physical
world.
matter, which means that you are in a sense God.
Correct.
So that means though that if there's another person on this earth from your perspective who believes that rape, slavery, murder, sodomizing innocent people is okay, then that would be God under your definition condoning those actions, which means that your God is in conflict. He's condoning the actions and not condoning the
That would be
actions.
if you actually asked a couple more questions to understand my belief, you would probably get through that little contradiction there, right?
There's
But
there's
we
no
see what you're
there's
trying to do
no,
immediately is
there,
just go to debunk this the position. But let me add a couple details to it. First of all, I never said anything about God coming into physical form and knowing or having a plan for the future. I don't believe. I believe God. This is an idea of experiencing something new for the first time. So I don't think God. I don't even think most people even remember who they truly are.
well, you said you were God. You said you were an extension of God. I'm an extension of God. You
Yes.
know that God would not condone this based on you, what
Slavery,
you feel.
slavery
No,
is an
Then,
the
extension of
nature of
God.
God. Yes.
one second,
I.
Matt. One second. But
I.
but at the same time,
What's your specific
Matt.
question?
I'm just saying. Then at the same time, other people have that same thing. They would be God in the same extension you are, but they've arrived at different moral conclusions, which means that quite obviously you can't say that your version of God is against all these things because in several cases he's in favor of those things.
You don't understand my beliefs. What's your specific question?
Well, we're fleshing out because
No,
you
no, no.
said
I
that,
know if you have a specific question, I'll answer it. But what you're doing now is just basically trying to straw man my position into arguing against it. So why don't you
no,
try to figure
I
out what my position is? Like,
Skyler,
and I
Well,
noticed, hey, hold on. Right. I noticed the game here that happened when I came in this room. Right. I start
Skyler, I
talking
know
about
you're
biblical
running.
slavery in the Bible. We get a hint in Skylar talk. I'm going to keep talking about my beliefs. I have no problem with this. Well, we get a hint of Skylar talking about his beliefs, and we change the subject from your God.
Well, no,
well,
Skylar, like
if
we're
you're just
trying. Hold on,
saying,
stop, Matt, hang on, stop, Matt, please. This whole entire room has been getting away from the slavery topic. So when you came up and you were discussing things, and you said that you start criticizing his gods by giving the claim that your God has given you this personal revelation that all these things are wrong.
Oh
But then you
no, no,
say
you're
that your
straw
God,
manning. That wasn't.
but then you
No,
say
no,
that
no.
your
You're straw
God
manning me at this point.
that you just told Matt that you don't have a God who condones all these things, but yet you said
Correct, right? Because hold on,
but you are
James,
God.
you're fucking.
I
Would
am
you
God.
rather hear me talk about my position, or would you like to ramble on about my position?
Well, no, I want to stick right with the contradiction. I don't want
I
you to
don't even,
like
dude. At some
float
point, you're
away.
gonna have to let me talk and respond to you.
As long as we stay on this and you
We're
don't
talking
float
about
away.
slavery, right? And my God
No,
not being
no,
pro-slavery.
no, we're talking about the claim that you made that you listed off all these immoral things that you said your God does
Yes,
not
because it
condone.
goes against God's nature.
Yes, and then the thing though is you
Special
also said,
revelation. The answer to your question would be special revelation.
but then you said that from your perspective, you are God, the particles are God, Matt's God, I'm God. But
Correct. Get to your
given
question.
given that Jeffrey Dahmer was also God, and Jeffrey Dahmer ate people and
How much
sodomized
did Jeffrey
people.
Dahmer know that he was God?
So what I'm saying is
well,
that
all James,
Are
it
you
all
wouldn't
familiar with
be
Alan
enslavers,
Watts at all?
all
Let me ask you that.
enslavers are
Because the problem
extensions of
is
God
you're
too.
coming from a place of blankness about my whole belief structure, and you're trying to create a contradiction, but you don't know enough about it, right?
well, no,
And
no,
instead
there
of
is.
trying to actually ask me questions to understand what my beliefs are, you're just trying to form a contradiction based on your
Skyler,
own idea in your head.
if you're not going to address this contradiction, then we can just leave it as a contradiction and we can move
It's
on.
it's not a contradiction because I don't believe God is uh, when God is coming to existence, he doesn't realize what God is, or we don't realize what we are, right? If the best analogy I could give you, James, and this is what Alan Watts puts it, right? Imagine every night you went to sleep for 1,000,000 years and you could dream about whatever you wanted to dream about, right? Maybe the first night you dream about all the lustful things, all the carnage, all the physical things, right? But that's going to get old. Then maybe the next night you go to sleep, you start trying to be a hero, you start bettering yourself, you do all these things, right? But it's still going to get old, right? And maybe the only way to actually do something new or experience something as God is to become not God, the opposite of God, the physical reality. And that humans are basically God playing, right? And he didn't know the repercussions or repercussions that come from a physical reality. So there is no contradiction. And if you
No,
just
there is
asked a
a
couple more
contradiction
questions,
because
if you would have just asked a couple more questions, you would have
that doesn't
understood that.
resolve the contradiction.
I have a question.
Can I have a
Hold,
question as well.
Matt, I'll let you go real quick. I just want to point out why it doesn't resolve the contradiction, then I'll let
Mhm.
you go. The reason why it doesn't resolve the contradiction is because when I start building premises with you, everything in the universe is a part of God. Now, you said that you are God.
Premise one, everything is part of
You
the universe,
said
part of God. What's premise two?
you are God.
So that would be premise one.
Jeffrey Dahmer is God.
That's premise one.
Now, you both all
Yeah,
have that.
everything is God. So that's
Now,
all premise one, bro. That's all
now
you're saying.
you have a different moral intuition than Jeffrey Dahmer.
And what was the reason I said that what happens when God comes into the the physical world? He forgets who he is, who is the absolute moral standard.
So before he was physical, he knew who he was, but now that
He
he's
is
not
no
physical, he
he
doesn't know.
knew who he was. He is who he is. He has to know who he is. What would you mean by know in that context?
Well, you're now like trying to appeal to some kind of strange, like collective pre-unconscious state.
See, now we're just resorting to calling it strange and unfamiliar to you, right? You're not making an argument against
Well,
it.
no, I mean, I think
You're
that's
kind of stuck because now it's like it's not what you thought it was, and the contradiction you were trying to show doesn't really make sense.
well, it
That's
just
why when I
sounds
said I'm
like
a
you don't.
pantheist, I'm not like a traditional
It
pantheist.
just sounds like you just don't know your view enough to like not have it a contradiction.
That's an
You want to
opinion. Hey, do you
criticize
have anything besides opinions?
someone else,
Do
but
you have any
I
other
did
thing
promise
besides
to let
opinions?
I did
You have
promise to let
arguments?
Jake. I did promise to let Jake go and interact with you now.
Come
Yeah,
back
I
with
wanted
syllogism
I wanted
one
to
day,
No,
ask him.
James, and
I
we'll
I wanted to
I
ask him a
interact.
only just
question
had a
too because
question.
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to ask him one too because I
Matt,
think James, you missed a vital role point here, and I wanted to go for it. But go ahead, Jake.
yeah, no, I'll just be quick. I'm just trying to understand what he's saying, so I'm not making an argument. But yeah, if you're saying that everything is God, including me, you, and every other human, um, but I was trying to follow your story about God, realizing Himself. Um, are you saying that strictly speaking, God commits rape? He's a rapist, but he doesn't realize that he's not supposed to. Is that what you're saying?
No, God's not a rapist.
So, I mean,
Would you
you
let me
you
ask you something? If somebody had like a really like think a human being, right? Like someone has
yeah,
a lot of brain damage and they stole a candy bar. Would you call them a
yeah.
thief?
Would I call them a thief? You said?
Yeah. Say
Yeah.
you had somebody
Yeah,
with
I
brain
would.
Yes.
damage, they stole a candy bar, they didn't
Yes.
quite realize what they were doing. Would you call them a thief?
Yeah.
You would call okay, I guess. All
I
right,
mean,
that's fine.
technically they are.
Yeah, I
I would
mean,
call them one.
yeah.
It's a
Okay,
big
so
deal.
let's say you have someone that
It's
commits.
like but I hope you get what I'm saying
You
here.
gotta
With the
let you
No,
point.
no,
gotta
no. I
let
just
Jake
want to
Skylar.
clarify.
You
I'm
gotta let
just
Jake
trying to
talk.
clarify. So, because I don't want to misrepresent you, so that's what I'm asking.
No, no, no. You
So,
ask away, man.
yeah, so if someone commits rape, right,
Yes.
is that God committing the act of rape?
Well, everything's God.
Right. So God is committing the act of rape. He just doesn't know that
Yeah.
he's not supposed to, right?
No, no, yeah, I don't even. He doesn't even know who he is. We don't even know who he is.
Right. So
Right.
it follows from that that he also doesn't know that he's not supposed to do that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Wait, is God
So
a
then
person?
so hold on. So what I said is
I know
actually
it's confusing.
accurate. So actually what I said is accurate. God is committing rape, but he doesn't know he's not supposed to.
Well, in the same way, that's why I was giving the example of someone who's very special needs or someone has brain damage. They do something wrong. Like we're not going to be like, hey, they're a thief. They don't have the same kind of accountability.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really see how your position is any better because, in fact, it seems worse to me rather than God commanding rape. Your God is the rapist himself.
Okay, I mean, I appreciate your opinion.
Okay, I mean, thank you.
Well,
I'm not going to argue with you. I can't argue with opinions, bro.
No, I
not
mean,
only that, I
how
mean,
is that an opinion? It
basically,
just follows from
Well,
your
you're just
view.
saying I
Like,
don't like it.
no,
You're just saying I
no,
like
you,
one more than the other. You have one
no, but
preference over the other.
you're just, if you have a problem with God commanding rape, why would you not have a problem with God committing rape?
Well, let's think about some of the different. Let's look at the differences in this scenario, right? One, you have one who's not aware of what they're doing. You have a person not aware of what they're doing. You have, and the other one, you have a scenario where God is supposedly perfectly moral, completely aware of what he's doing, and doing stuff that's even contradictory to how he describes his feelings towards humans, right? So I think you could look at that, for example, would show a difference.
Yeah, so you think that the God of the Bible is commanding rape and things that are
Well,
what you see are,
genocide to
yeah,
baby
whatever it
killing,
is. Yeah,
slavery,
all the bad things. We could just
right?
pile them
Are
all
you
up, right?
Christian? No, you're
No,
Muslim.
I'm not. I'm
No, you're
not. I'm
Muslim.
not.
Yeah.
So
His name says
we could just
Muslim.
pile all these things
Well, I
up,
wasn't
right?
looking at the screen,
Yeah,
Dickwood.
I
Go
know.
ahead. Not you. The other
That's
guy.
hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So we can just pile all these bad things up, and you're saying God is commanding those things according to the Christians,
Yeah.
according to Christian Bible, and you don't believe God is commanding them.
No.
He's doing
It's
these
similar with
actions,
natural disasters.
but
How
he doesn't
Christians would
know
look
any
at
better.
natural disasters.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're saying God is doing those things, but he doesn't
Well,
know
I mean,
that he
like
shouldn't
in the sense of
because he
like
doesn't know
Gotta,
he's
everything's
God.
God.
Felix,
Yeah,
point of
yeah. The
moderation. You gotta
universe is doing. Yes, the
stop,
universe
stop.
is doing
Point
it
of
to himself.
moderation.
The
Stop. Point of moderation. I just had to mute you. You gotta quit cutting people off, Skyler. You gotta give them a chance to finish.
Yeah, I was just finishing. All I was just saying, just to clarify what the view is, your view turns out that God is not the one commanding these horrible acts, but he's the one doing them. And it's just because he doesn't know any better, because he doesn't realize himself. That's all.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, did you hear the question?
No, say it again.
So you told Jake that when somebody rapes, God is raping and doesn't know that he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned before Jake's question, you said that God has revealed to you that I believe the context was that
He's
slavery
revealed
is
he
wrong.
existed. He's revealed that I am God, or we're all God, in the sense of knowing that there's a God. He's been
Okay,
revealed.
but did you not say that he revealed to you that slavery was wrong?
I would know by my own what's built in my own what do you call it moral system. You know Jesus talks about too. Like God talks about people being based on the law that's been written on their heart. It's what God wrote on my heart. I'm able to have
So
understand
so
a conscience, if you will,
okay.
given by God deep inside. You
Okay.
can't hide all of God. I guess
Okay.
God can't hide all of himself, is what I should say.
Okay, so the person that is raping has this in their heart, but they are God,
No, they
but
don't have what in their heart.
you're the morals.
Yes, just like how you have a conscience and you heart and you make mistakes
Right,
and you sin, right? Just how a Christian would say that they make mistakes, yet they have a
right.
conscience. Yes,
So I
human being.
understand that.
Yes, God, as in the flesh, the opposite of the spiritual, can make mistakes.
Okay, so God, you're saying that God has these things in his heart, right? But he rapes.
Well, He's good. Human, the flesh is the opposite of God. The
Wait,
flesh,
isn't
it's the
everything God?
it's so funny. And you guys don't grasp some of these concepts because they're very
Isn't
similar to
everything God?
Christianity in some ways. Because you know what you know, God gave you a conscience, right?
Yeah, but I have a different
Uh,
paradigm, and so I'm talking about.
are you pro life?
My views are relevant to your view. I don't
But you
mind
said
you
you would
internally
answer a question
critiquing
if
my
I asked.
view.
You said you would answer a question if I answered a question.
Sure.
Oh, did you forget? Are you pro-life there, buddy?
Yes.
Okay, ask me a question.
Okay. So what I'm trying to find out is that you said that God revealed to you that slavery was wrong. And
No,
then
I
when
know
I
that by my conscience.
right. And
Yes.
so in other words, God, when you use the word revelation, it's representative of something being made known. Do you agree with that?
Eh, I mean, loosely, yeah, yeah.
And
He
so,
loosely made it known.
right. Whereas it was not known before without his revelation.
Maybe I was suppressing it.
Well, I don't know. But I mean,
Oh,
it's your view,
I mean, it
not
could happen
mine.
in your view too. I was just thinking about, well, maybe I always knew, but
We
maybe I
don't
was.
have
Maybe the
similar
flesh
worldview. It's
suppresses it,
not,
man.
you can't do a parity reasoning when the fundamentals are different. The underlying
I'm not
assumptions are
necessarily
different.
comparing to you right now. I'm just thinking out loud.
Uh-huh.
But go on.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
What? Like what? So basically, we have a situation where I think you're trying to point out the distinction where you're like somehow my God unknowingly, unwillingly commits violent acts like grape. Oh, we're not on
mhm,
YouTube. We can say those words. Uh,
mhm.
now, and in your case, your God just commands it. Would be the difference because like I guess we're kind of both in that same boat of rape being okay with our gods if we look at it the way you're looking at my religion.
Well, I'm not talking about okay with anything, right? And so I
Well,
wouldn't
your
agree
God's
with that.
clearly okay with rape in
Well,
the
you don't.
Bible.
Well, I don't agree with that. But
You
yeah.
don't know
If you want
scripture
to
then, sir.
debate now, if you want to debate that, that's a different thing. But if you're going to ask me, is God, because you didn't even bother asking, is God okay with rape? No, I think
Well, I've
rape is
talked to you about this
unjustified.
before, and you said it wasn't
Mm.
immoral in the situation that was rape.
Rape is certainly immoral.
If a soldier captures a woman, kills her whole
Mhm.
entire family, and forces her to marry him, that's rape, sir. And that's what exactly happens in the
Well,
Bible.
so now we're arguing semantics,
That's
right?
not semantics. That
Hmm.
is rape. Forcing someone to marry you is rape.
Well, to me,
Yep. See, to
to
you,
me,
it's just
to
not
me,
rape. You don't believe, like,
to
I don't know
me,
what your definition of rape is, but
it's
it's kind of weird if it isn't not consensual.
Maybe he
well,
didn't know what he was doing was wrong.
Well, if maybe is he? What kind of God are
Good
we
one,
talking about
Jake.
here?
Good
It
one.
sounds like
so
you guys have a different God, though.
Could
There's
be
a God
yeah.
where you're
statutory.
I
accountable
was
for
So
saying
killing
that because
people.
that would
Statutory
be
rape.
true on your position. That's the ironic part.
Well,
so
it
I'm
That's a
wouldn't.
just
good point,
concerned with
Jake.
the revelation but the revelation. How can God reveal to you that something's wrong unless He knows
Conscious,
Himself that
just like
something
he
is
does for you
wrong?
guys. Just like how does God judge people who don't know the gospel?
So what is the
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
mechanism?
How does he do that, John?
How does what?
How does God judge those who never heard the gospel?
Very easily. He judges them by their acts.
Correct. What does the
Those
Bible
simple
though say? Let's be
actions.
more specific. It wasn't really their acts. What does the Bible say about it? Oh, you don't
You
know this first, do you?
yeah. No, if they are you're talking about if they sin outside the law? Is that what you're asking?
No, you don't know the verse. You don't know the verse about like how people are judged if they never hear the word of God.
How
You don't
they're
read your
judged
Bible much,
apart
do
from
you?
the
All right,
law.
never mind. It's okay.
They're judged apart from the
John, you
law.
don't. Yeah,
Romans
I know,
2.
John. You don't read your Bible very often.
I just gave you an answer, sir. Do you
Okay.
have the yeah? Are you telling me you have a correct answer?
John, he's talking about Romans 2:12 through 18.
I
Thank you.
just said Romans 2, Barth. I'm the one that said Romans 2. And if that's wrong, I'm asking him, do you have the right answer, Barth? Didn't you hear
Then
me
it's
refer to Romans
James.
2?
Then it's James 2:12 through
I have no
16.
idea what he's referring to. He hasn't said.
Yeah, which one are you referring to, Skylar? Because there's one in Matthew also. I think Matthew.
It's okay. It's the
Yeah,
point.
so I just want to know about the revelation, though, Skylar. Right? It seems to me that you
You're
limited.
you're very curious about this revelation.
Yes. I am very curious. In fact, James started off with the question about Revelation, but
Yes.
then when Jake started asking you about a God raping and doesn't know it, and I said,
Hmm.
"Well, wait a minute. God doesn't know it, but
Hmm.
He knows it enough to reveal it to you." That didn't. That seemed to be a contradiction. Maybe you can help resolve this apparent tension.
I don't see it as a contradiction.
I understand, but could you help me to resolve it
No,
so that's
no,
coherent? Okay, that's fine
no.
too.
If you have a question, I'll answer your specific question, but you gotta have a specific question.
I just don't think that God can reveal something he doesn't know.
I don't
And if he
think
does,
God could drown children. So who gives a fuck? You would tell me that too, right? If I said I don't
well,
think
if
God
you
could
want
drown
to
children, you'd
introduce
be
red
like, fuck you.
herrings, that's fine.
But you do
But in
believe
any
God
case,
drowns children. I don't understand. That's exactly your view.
It is the Christian view that God drowns children. You're right.
No, but it's also your view that God drowns children.
Yes. Yes, it is. Do you, but do
Dude,
you, it's like, it's weird to me that you don't get the difference though.
no, it's weird that you
Right?
make
Like, okay, if
statements like
somebody was
that
on,
and then
like,
don't
say
realize
someone,
how you're
watch
contradicting your
this,
own
bro,
view.
watch this. Say someone gave you a bunch of drugs and you didn't know it. They laced a drink of yours and you acted inappropriately, right? Would people blame you, or would they blame the drugs that were laced?
They would blame me if I was the same person that drugged myself because there's only one person there.
Yeah, that's not, dude, that's not what I said.
Yeah, I'm just saying your analogy doesn't work
No, no, but
because
that's not how the, now, it
because
isn't
for
how the
you,
God thing
God
works
is
either.
both the one that gets drugged and the one that gives the drug.
No, no, no. It's getting,
You've got a
would
contradictory
you be
view, dude.
blamed? Would they, hold on, let's just answer the question. If you got drugged and you did something really stupid, would people blame you, or would they blame you being drugged?
If I was drugged by someone else and I didn't have control, then that other person would be responsible.
Correct.
However, in your case, it's really
The person, yes.
It's God drugging
If
himself.
you're
It's not two
saying,
different
I
Can you
people.
not
get you, dickhead.
interrupt Muslim
I get you.
metaphysician,
I get you.
please?
If you're just saying, is God
Skylar,
ultimately responsible because there are bad things here? Sure, bro.
Hey,
Like,
Skylar,
okay.
clearly you didn't fucking
But
hear what the
you don't
goddamn
get
dude just
see,
said.
the problem is you don't get the
Oh,
contradiction
you're deaf
with
as
the
well, I
Christian
guess.
religion.
You don't get the contradiction in
There's no, can
criticizing
you
the
give
Christian
me
for
tell me
saying
the
that God
contradiction?
actually. I just told you, sir.
Skylar,
No,
You
I
you
just
just
can,
said you don't
you're
like it. You didn't
Skylar,
criticizing.
actually
I'll
No,
apply a
steelman Jake
contradiction.
no.
for you.
I showed you. You said before, just
Premise one.
earlier.
What's your premise one?
You just said earlier that God kills babies, and you have a problem with that. And then I just said, but your
Volcanoes
God
kill
does.
babies.
And
That's
you
still
just said that.
God. Do
And
you
you just
understand
said
that?
that God. Exactly. You said that God also
Oh my
kills
God,
babies.
dude.
So
Dude,
you have a
what is the
problem.
contradiction? You're not
The
telling me the
con
contradiction.
the contradiction is
Premise one,
very
bro. Put it in
simple.
premises.
It's very simple, right? You
Premise one.
said that you have a problem with God killing babies, right?
Do I have a problem with? That's not a premise. That's a question.
I'm asking you a
No, no, no.
question.
I want your argument in premise form. You're saying I'm saying something contradictory. I want to know what the
You also
contradiction
asked
I'll
is.
give
specific
it
Yeah.
to
What is
you.
questions.
I'll
premise
give it to
one?
you in I'll give it to you in syllogism form if you'd like it from Jake.
Perfect. Premise one.
Premise one, according to your view, the rapist is an extension of God. Premise
No,
two,
not an
according to
extension.
your
Is
view,
God. So premise
is
one
God.
is
Okay,
off.
so premise one, the rapist is
God is.
God.
What you say? God is everything.
Okay, premise one, God is everything, including the rapist. Premise two,
Okay. So God
God
is
is
everything. Premise two.
God is God is everything, including the rape victim. Concluding, God
Press
is
premise
raping.
two. What's premise
Concluding,
two?
con- God or the God is everything, including the rape victim. Conclusion,
That hold on,
and
dude.
you're
That
under
was
your
premise
view.
one. That was
No, this is
premise
premise
one.
two. No, premise
You
one
just
is
said God is everything.
hold on, just shut up for a second. Let me do the
Fuck
whole thing
you. You
without
don't eat a bag of dicks, dude. I'm out,
Stop.
man.
Stop.
You fucking you
Yeah,
want to
go
hear the argument, you're gonna
run
hear the argument.
away.
If
Run
not, go
away.
eat a
running.
bag of mugs
Have
and
a
Run
watch
nice
somebody
away,
day,
cook,
Skylar.
Skyler. Have
bitch.
a
Run
nice day.
Yeah,
away.
nobody's gonna complain, dude.
Yeah, he
Nobody's
I
left.
gonna
mean,
complain.
He
This was
got folded.
bad.
He got
This was
folded,
bad.
Matt. That's why he
you
left.
made a great point, Jake. I mean, under his view, the date rapist and the rape victim is, God is
It's the
taking
same
part in both of
person.
those. Yeah, it's the same,
Yeah,
and he couldn't
and
even
he's
figure
trying to
that
give an
out.
example. He's trying to give an example of someone, right, giving somebody else drugs without that person knowing, right? But in his example, under his view, the person doping up
Yeah,
the person that's getting the drugs is the same
God
one,
is.
right? They're
Yeah,
both God
God
at
is doping
they're
up
both God
himself.
at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
his
so
God is
God
doping
is the
up
only
himself.
one to
Yeah,
blame. Yeah,
exactly.
God is the only one to blame, right? There's nobody else possibly that could be blamed except for God.
Exactly.
His position is utter trash, and uh, I hope that you take some positive feelings away from this, Matt. I think you needed it,
Well,
but his
when
position is
I
trash.
see, I had this conversation. We did a debate. He did an interview with me several months ago on here on Clubhouse about biblical slavery. And I asked him. He told me he was a pantheist. Now I didn't really go after him at that point, but I knew when he said that, I was like, oh boy, you're going to put yourself into some big problems if a Christian really wants to go after you on this. And that's why when he first came into the room, I brought that up. I said, you're a pantheist, right? Which means everything, including enslavement. So according to you, God is practicing, is enslaving people, and that's basically after that. That's what we went after, and Jake made some really good points that really hurt his position, and ultimately he didn't have any response to it. But I knew that's what's strange about Skyler Fiction. He clearly hasn't thought that stuff through. He's going after Christians or Muslims or whatever, and then he's willing to say he's a pantheist. And I really think there's some huge problems if someone's going to take that position. I think he'd been better off just saying he's an atheist and going after them.
Yeah, because Matt, I mean, he said at different points to you and John, oh, but your God kills babies, or your God rapes so and so. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, so does your God. So what are you talking about? It's just silly.
Well, he's back now.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't help that you guys don't get the difference between someone who is consciously doing something and someone who's unconsciously doing something. I get it. Like you see, it sounds weird to you. Like it sounds weird to me when you say that God drowns babies, right? It
So you
just
have
sounds weird
unconscious
to say
Wait, but
that.
revelation?
doesn't
And
your God drown babies?
huh? Doesn't your
Doesn't
Muslim God drown babies?
doesn't no? Just answer the question, dude.
Yes, yes, he does.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with God
So
drowning
I
babies,
know
do
you're
you?
not going to criticize me for drowning babies, right? Because you
Do
believe
you
God
have
drowns babies.
do you have a problem with God drowning
Do
babies?
you have a problem with God drowning babies?
Just answer. You came back. I mean, I don't know
Wait a
why
minute.
you came
Well,
back
I
to
don't believe in
embarrass
the sense
yourself
of an
further.
external God drowning babies.
You don't.
No,
So
it's
when
not
babies get
external.
drowned, when
Like
babies
I
get
drown
drowned,
myself. If you want to say
when
like,
big,
did God drown itself?
yeah, that was God
Okay,
drowning
yeah,
himself.
God drowned itself. Now, do
Yeah,
you believe God drowned separate
exactly. So
babies?
what's your problem then?
Whoa, bro! Because drowning yourself is not the same as drowning someone else, right? Just like killing yourself is not the same as killing someone else, right?
So
Wouldn't
God is
God?
the only one.
Doesn't God have the right to do whatever to himself that he wants?
That's your view.
No,
Apparently,
no,
God's the
right?
only thing
You
that
guys don't think God?
exists.
Well, no, no, hold on. Does anybody disagree with that?
I don't believe God can kill himself. No.
No, no, no.
what,
That's
what
not
comes
what
into
I
conflict is
asked.
your assertion that there's objective morality
No,
saying
no, no.
dictating one thing or another. You said that. I didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
I'm going to grant object. I'm saying objective morality exists. The other person saying objective morality exists.
That's where you're running into a problem.
No, I could still root it in God's nature.
But God just means everything.
Huh?
God just
That's just you
means
not. So what? You
everything.
don't like the way it's phrased.
No, I'm just pointing out that you're just saying that everything like that everything is grounded in its nature. That objective morality is grounded in everything. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, of course, because everything is God.
Right. So what does that
Yeah, of
mean?
course. It's of course the
So objective
foundation of everything is
morality
God.
is raping
Morality
the
is part of
baby
God's
or
nature.
whatever we're talking about.
It's like love, huh? So it's doing it to himself. What a
So there's
Christian or
no
a
evil in the
Muslim's
world, then,
doing,
right?
like what a
There's no
Muslim's
evil.
doing, is they're saying, hey, there is this external God. Well, Muslims usually don't have the same kind of love thing with what's going on, but with the Christians, they say God loves these human beings, and then he
Nothing
still
could
drowns them.
violate objective morality in your view, correct?
Well, that would go against the Christian God's nature
No,
to
I'm
do
asking
something
you a
so cruel
question.
to a baby.
Would anything violate objective morality in your view? Anything that happens in the world, would it violate objective morality in your
Well,
view?
when you're hurting yourself, you're going against when you're going against your own nature.
I thought you just said God can do whatever he wants to himself.
Nope, that's not the same context. What we're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
What?
Is it evil? Is it evil when God hurts himself?
No,
Okay, so is there
is it
any
evil when somebody
example?
else hurts
Is
themselves? Hold
there
on. Is it
is
evil
there
when? Hey,
any?
hold
No, this
on.
is the whole
No one
point
ever
that
wants
he's
to. Yeah,
trying
see,
to
you never want to
get
question
at.
right back.
This is the whole point. This is the whole point that he's trying to get at, that your view is just God hurting himself. So there's no evil under your view. There's no evil whatsoever. Is that correct? Because God could do
No,
whatever
no,
he
no. I
wants to
don't. Yeah, I
himself.
don't believe in evil in the same way I'm using evil when I talk about. Yes, yeah. No, there's no such thing as
So
evil.
so there's nothing that is going against your perspective of objective
No, no,
morality,
no, no.
correct?
The word bad. If you want me to use words like good or bad, but evil is a different kind of word. There's a
Okay,
moral.
so what is
Okay,
what's
once
wrong
again,
or immoral on your
throw
view?
your premises out, bro. What's your premise?
What is wrong or immoral on your view?
Anything that goes against God's nature.
Okay, so when God hurts himself, is that against his nature?
Sure, yeah, goes against nature. Okay.
I thought you said that God could do whatever he wants.
No, I'm talking God.
Skylar,
We're
you're
talking
Because
about
contradicting
you
right,
yourself.
right? God would have the
Skylar,
right.
you
I don't think. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe let me stand corrected. You're right. I stand corrected.
okay, what's your new position, or what are you saying now, just so we're
The
clear?
one I just repeated. We're just going to say exactly God's nature.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
No, no, no. If you go against, if you hurt yourself, you're going against His nature. But God doesn't know He's hurting Himself.
When God is
Okay.
everything and everything that happens is God, then nothing could possibly go against God's nature.
that is correct, according to Skylar.
No, that's a straw man of my position.
No, Skylar, that's exactly
Not
I
what.
gotta
okay.
go back
What
to
guys?
work.
What was
Skylar,
my idea
Skylar,
about? What did I
that's
say?
exactly
The
what.
reason why
Skylar, that's
God?
exactly
What?
what you're saying,
Fuck. If
Skylar.
you guys are gonna fucking listen to me,
We
like,
are listening.
no, you're not. What was the
Guys,
reason
I
I
want
said
it to be
earlier about God? What was my
like more
main thing
one
I
on
said
one
God
or one
does?
on two, but I don't want like 5 or 6 on one.
So whoever can articulate what I specifically said about God earlier,
You said God is everything.
there's more than that.
That's the
That's
premise.
general
The main
pantheism.
the main point.
Is that God in the physical reality is becoming the opposite in a sense of itself. It doesn't remember itself. It's something new for the first time. God is got a way to experience something new for the first time. And that's not knowing who you truly are, which makes life, that's the point, is getting to know who you really are. That's it.
So, do you hold that pantheism is the view that the world is either identical to God or an expression of God's nature, and it comes to pan meaning all? God is everything
I'm
and
not doing
everything is
this again,
God.
bro. I
No,
swear to
I just want
God,
to
if I
make
have to explain myself again, bro,
I
like
just
I
want to make sure we're
already
on the same
so
page.
tired.
Well, okay, you can call it tiring, but I want to make sure we're on the same
Who am
page.
I arguing with right now, anyways? Now,
James Corletta.
James. Okay, we're not
So
talking about biblical slavery anymore. I guess
no,
we're,
no, no,
we're
no. I'm trying.
no,
I want
no.
to understand. I want
We
to.
want to focus on my worldview instead of
Right. I
James.
want to understand your worldview because it is sounding contradictory to me. I've been listening for quite some time, and
I,
now I'm interjecting. I'm really
I get it.
confused
Just give me
about
the
your view.
contradictions and premises. What's your premise one?
When you okay, premise one: God is everything, right? And God can't. This God can't
God is
go
everything. Yes, yes. God is
and
everything. Okay.
cannot go
Premise
against
one.
its nature.
Premise two.
So it can't go against its nature.
Can God go? Well, it can in the sense since it doesn't know who it is. It does go against its nature.
Okay, now I'm confused. How can it not know who it is? If God is everything,
It chose
wouldn't
to.
the, what do you mean it chose to?
It made a decision to forget who it was because it's the only way it could experience something new.
Okay, that's a different pantheism from what we just
Of
discussed.
course. Yeah, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
that's why I told you guys earlier. If you talk to me and ask me questions that are related instead of just trying to find me in a contradiction, you guys would do better and understand it. But the
Okay.
goal wasn't to understand pantheism; it was to show a contradiction. That's what you guys were trying to do.
Well, the contradiction is adhering to the pantheism that I just mentioned, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, the pantheism I believe doesn't have the contradiction you're talking about.
So you have a different pantheism, and we're not understanding it. That's our problem.
Yes.
James, he also has another issue now. He has a moral God who chose to forget that it's not right to rape, it's not right to murder or eat people. His God has now decided that it's immoral to do these things, but he's going to forget that so that he can do these things. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It sounds worse.
That's just an argument from like ignorance and like there's no. That's just an opinion, man. Like that's not an argument. And I get it. Like I could listen. I could. That's why I could say the same stuff
That's
to
not an
you about your
argument.
religion. I
That's
could be
not an
like, it
argument
just
from
doesn't make
ignorance, by the
sense
way.
that a God of love would drown
Yeah,
babies or
that's
tell
not.
people to slice open babies.
Yeah, that's
I
not
could do
an
that
argument.
too.
That's not an argument from ignorance. That's
I'm
you
sorry,
said
but
that your
I think you
God.
know my point here. My point
You
is
said you changed your position, Skylar, to your God chose to forget
that wasn't.
everything
No, no,
so
no.
that
You
he could
didn't
experience
understand my
new things.
position. You guys, I didn't change my position.
What I'm saying is, if you want to say you clarified, what you clarified makes it worse. Your God, who's moral, who knows right and wrong, chose to forget his own morality, that it's wrong to rape, murder, and eat people, so that he could experience raping, murdering, and eating people. Like, do you see that
Do,
that's
do,
just
do,
as
do
bad as
you do
bad?
you in that scenario? You think God knows the future?
It doesn't even matter if he knows the
Yeah,
future
it
in that
would, because
scenario.
if he didn't know what was going to happen, like say he didn't know all these physical repercussions would come up, right? Because really, what you're talking about when you talk about like some kind of like the idea of something like rape or stealing or any type of thing comes from something else, some kind of greater um like anger, like rage or something. Hurting somebody comes from rage or feeling, or like theft might come from coveting somebody, or lust comes from like sexual divert, like, so I think it's a little bit more complicated than what you're making it.
No, because you've got this God who, from your perspective, chose to forget all of his moral intuition so that he could relearn everything again. So he
And
chose that,
but that's
that
not a
these
contradiction. But there's
no,
nothing it can do that. There's no contradiction there.
I'm not saying it's an X and not X. What I'm saying is that it puts you in a morally worse position. It would be like you saying,
Whoa, whoa,
okay,
whoa!
you're going
Morally
to be
by whose standard?
please
Hold on.
let me
Morally by
Skylar,
whose standard?
Skylar, please let me finish. Try to exercise some,
But you just you
self-respect,
say,
limited.
oh, it put you in a morally.
Let me finish,
Go ahead.
Skylar.
Let's make it objective, though.
Skylar, let me finish. I know you're like doing damage control because everybody's pwned you for the past 30 minutes, but you cannot interrupt
Oh,
for
you're gonna
just a
be a
few
little
moments.
bitch now? Is that what you're gonna fucking do? You're gonna be like, call it damage control?
Thank you for your participation, Skylar.
Oh man, before you kick him, I want to ask him a question. His definition for objective versus subjective.
He's just one big ball of contradiction, James. I didn't expect like because normally he talks about like Christian issues and he avoids his own stuff. I didn't realize that like what he believed was so like workshopped and theory crafted and made up on the spot. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a different pantheist than I'm aware of.
And then the fact that like he wants to cut you off and not let you like interject in it and then like cry foul.
This
Well,
guy is just nuts.
I was actually, I thought he would be the perfect candidate to debate me on biblical slavery again, and
Oh, please,
I
Matt,
was going to
stop.
actually, because he said something about it. He said something about I ran away, something like
If
a little
you would
bit,
like to open up a
and I was,
room, Matt, if you would like to open up a room and tag Skylar into the room and you guys can discuss this potential debate, go right ahead. But
I can't.
as far as him kill, I'm just saying, but as far as him kill screening on my stage goes and not letting people talk and all that, we're not doing that anymore today.
I was just going to ask him, but I would have if I'd known he's going to get his sorry butt kicked, but I didn't know that. So maybe someone can, when they see him, ask him if he wants to debate me on biblical slavery. Because I don't know, we don't never really frequent the same rooms much that I'm aware of.
Hey, Jake, you're pretty philosophically minded. And that mess, did you hear anything that resembled coherence? Like, was there anything there?
I think he realized he was contradicting himself, and that's why he was changing his answer towards the end when I was talking to him. I just think he hasn't really thought um, very much in depth about his own position, and yeah, so that's the result.
Don't forget to click the bell, the like, and subscribe. I'm also going to put a link into this so that you can see what happened after. I ended up bringing him back on stage. I took a step back, went to more strict of a moderator role because him and I had already just had this blowout. That being said, I'll put this link, like I said, in the bottom, the description below, which will take you to the Clubhouse link, which will let you go through and you can dig through this whole 8-hour room and hear more. But the Skyler Fiction stuff starts, I believe, a couple hours in, and then you'll start seeing a bit of what I played here, and then you can see where he got brought back. Him and Matt Adams went at each other like crazy. Like I had to keep getting after people for over talking. Once again, thank you guys for watching this video. That link is in the description, and I appreciate every one of you.
Claim they like riding, but I know that they ain't. Ride or die. I go hard in the paint, yeah, homie, I'm a saint. Ride or die.